my Comp Prep YouTube series. And now obviously this series is going to take a little bit of a turn in direction. So the last time I checked in with you guys, I was getting deep into competition prep for my first Worlds show. As you would have seen from my Instagram, Worlds has now been cancelled due to COVID and the restrictions that we are now having to face. So to be honest with you guys, the last week of that prep was extremely hard for me. I think it was really hard to stay motivated, not motivated, but to stay focused, knowing that there was so much uncertainty lingering in the background. So for me, it wasn't actually just the possibility of the show being cancelled, but being in Dubai was still not on the exemption list for 14-day quarantines coming into the UK. So when I originally decided that I wanted to prep for Worlds, we were kind of hoping that things were going to take a turn in the right direction, but soon we sort of discovered it was going in the opposite direction. And yeah, there was going to be a really small chance that I would have been able to get to the UK anyway without having to do a 14-day quarantine. So with all of this in the back of my head and still trying to prep, it was actually very, very hard. And although I am super determined and really compliant when it comes to my comp prep, it was definitely starting to get quite stressful towards the 6-week out mark. So the news that the show was actually cancelled, it honestly took quite a stressful load off my shoulders. So here we are now, no show, prep is finished. So basically I've just been instructed by my coach just to continue on with my current calories. And over the weekend, I have basically just thought about what the plan of action is now going forward for the next couple of months. So in amidst all of this, I was planning my return home to Australia finally, missing my family so much, and it has been 2 years since I have been home. So it was a real priority for me to try and get back to Australia. And so now that the show isn't going ahead, that was the next thing on our list to get sorted. So last night we booked our flights to Australia. And gosh, it was actually really hard to get the flight. We were up until 1 o'clock in the morning. A lot of the flights that were listed on the website were not actually there. So it was proving really difficult to actually find an available flight. So we locked the best one in that we could find, a little more expensive than we were hoping, but we just wanted to get it secured. Now, hopefully nothing gets cancelled or moved, which we've been hearing a lot about, just flights being cancelled last minute. So fingers crossed that the flight is now booked and we're going to be on our way back home to Australia in 5 weeks' time, which is so soon. So the flight is booked for the 5th of November and we actually land in Brisbane. It was the only flight we could get. We couldn't get one into Sydney. So we land in Brisbane and quarantine for 14 days before then making our way back to my home, which is Canberra in Australia. And that is where all my family are. So I'll be spending time with them again, finally, after 2 long years of being away. So really looking forward to that. In terms of my goals with fitness, right now, obviously I've had to set some new goals with competition prep being finished, and so I'm very excited to push really hard for the remainder of the weeks that we have left here in Dubai. So I've made a goal to prep myself for a couple more photo shoots just before we leave Dubai. So prior to starting my prep, you guys would know that I did a little shred down for some photo shoots when I first came to Dubai. I was feeling super lean and amazing. And then once I started prep, my coach actually lifted my calories back up so that I could really focus on gaining muscle and being in a prime place for another cut down for competition. So I put on a couple more kilos after those photo shoots, and I've got my calories back up to over 2,000 in that time. So I'm sitting in a pretty comfortable place right now, and it's time for me to get back on the shred. So when I'm shredding down for a photo shoot, it's different to when I am shredding down for competition prep, hence why I have Melissa, my coach, do my prep plans for me. If I'm shredding down for a photo shoot, I will generally just stick with if it fits your macros. I've got a little more flexibility with my diet. At the end of the day, photo shoots for me is just all about feeling good in my own body. I'm not too worried about the exact condition that I am for the shoot. But definitely from where I am now, I'm planning to drop a couple kilos and get a little more shredded over the next 4 weeks. So I'm excited for that. So I'll definitely share with you guys a little more about the next 4 weeks into my little mini cut. Now, after I return home to Australia, finally is when I will be doing the proper reverse diet, which I've been wanting to do for a while now, but things have been really up and down. So I will be reverse dieting once I land home to get myself back up to a really, really good calorie intake, build some serious muscle in my lower body, and get myself in a prime position for my next competition. Anyway, I'll cover that part once we get there, but for now it is shred mode on. I've got 4 weeks to get to where I want to be, which is honestly about 3, probably closer to 4 kilos away from where I am now, if I want to be in the shape that I was for my previous photo shoot. So I'm just going all out. I'm dropping my calories back down to where they were at the end of my last shred, and I'm adding the cardio back in. So I'll keep you guys updated with how the progress goes, and also how everything else goes as well with our journey back home to Australia. Fingers crossed it actually goes smoothly. But other than that, thank you for tuning in, guys, and I will be bringing you so many more YouTubes to come still, and we are still on a journey to Worlds, even though it may be a longer journey than expected.